Hi, welcome everybody. I'm glad that you guys could all make it. You know, if you look around this room for a second, every single person in here has a story worth telling. And that's why you guys are here. It's a story that could change somebody's life, maybe even save it. I mean, how many of you have read a book that has spoke to you in a way that really advanced your life or helped you in something you were dealing with?
We just got started.
So this is the next generation authors inside this room, you know, that have a story that could change someone's life, maybe even save it. I know because my story almost broke me, and then I went through divorce, fatherlessness, and yet here I am, married to the love of my life, running a business with her, and sitting in rooms like this one, helping people go from I don't know where to start to holding their own book in their hands. That's what we want to do for you guys. That's what today is about. This is no pressure, no judgment, just you. Prairie just released the pressure valve for everybody. So this is you and your story and the tools to finally get it out of your head and into the world where it belongs. Right?
Right.
Yes. You're safe, you're welcome here, and somebody out there is waiting on what only you can write. I want to encourage you with that today. And I'll do a little icebreaker here. I'm just curious if anybody in the room could just throw out the silliest title they could think of for the book that they're writing, like one that no one would buy because it's so silly.
What not to do?
What not to do. Mine is like I cried in a parking lot and now here I am. Anybody else want to venture a silly book title for the story that's on their heart? Or that God put in them? Barry, you have so many awesome books. Shh. I'm not Did you have, what was the silliest book title that you ever came up with?
I'm just looking at, I keep a list of books that I'm wanting to write and everything. One of them is, would you believe, Lessons from a Lazy Writer?
Lessons from a Lazy Writer. I think I might actually write that.
One of
buy
the
that.
things I use is called Speech Notes. It's just an app and it's voice to text messages, and it keeps a list of it. I really like it a lot. And
cool.
Then I can go in there, I can put in stuff, and then actually go in and copy it and put it into AI and say like a book outline and stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll come out with
I'm going to talk a little bit about AI today. Yeah, this is a new world that we're living in where, AI is trying to write books for us, but still people want the authentic book that's actually written by a person. They do. I mean, AI is a great tool that can help, but it's not a person and it hasn't went through what you have gone through, and it cannot empathize with a person. It cannot give them the way out of their situation and into something beautiful. So I still think that we are going to win over AI any day. So I want to tell you what to expect in the shop today. We're going to give you the 3 biggest blocks that keep people from writing their story, how to overcome them.
Don't be a blockhead.
Don't be a blockhead, right? We're going to give you a simple 90-day roadmap to go from an idea to a written manuscript. And we publish it for you. And then we're going to tell you how to create a compelling cover that sells while you write. That's me. Also with some AI in there. Did you do your cover with AI? Or
What, the cover?
The covers? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can work for a long time. In fact, sometimes the robot, like you could call, they don't get what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
and then they'll come up with something different. I
Yeah.
got a funny one on that. The first one that I'm trying to get out there, I had designed a book cover, and I'm going through it and trying to hash through it, and all of a sudden the AI came up with its own idea.
Yeah.
And then I
So,
started
yeah,
working
it's not-
with that one, and I have an editor friend, and she says, I like this one better.
So it's just it's just a tool like Photoshop. I'll go more into details with some of how I've used it, and how you can still copyright your idea. And then we're going to give you the exact next steps to publishing. So is there another slide, or your slide's next?
I don't know. Click ahead. We'll find out.
Introductions.
Okay. Yeah.
That's you, right, babe?
Sure.
So I'm going to introduce my beautiful wife.
There you go.
Because this woman's vision is why I'm standing here today. Because she was obedient, she heard from God, and she did what he said. And we have a wild story of, almost purchasing a vacuum cleaner shop to ending up in this space where we get to share our life experience and help people to become whole and healthy. And then after all, the healing is done, then we're going to help them get their story into a book so they can help somebody else.
Yeah.
Without further ado, Layla Rule.
All right. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mr. Rule. I'm just going to circle up on this. My goal with all the workshops that we do here at the Healing Hub is that you leave with just a profound amount of value for the time that you invested to be here tonight. Okay, so in the next hour and a half, my goal is for you to be able to leave here and make at least $150 in the next 48 hours. Does that sound fair? All right, I'm going to give you some tips. This is designed for people that have never written a book before, that have an idea. You don't have to have any experience, but I want to help you to be able to have a path to generate income with the ideas that God put inside of your heart. Maybe you just have something stirring, or maybe you kind of know it's your call or your anointing or something like that, that you will get at least a few steps further than when you walked in the door tonight. Does that sound okay? Mm-hmm. All right. And for coming out today, I have a little bonus that I also included in here. Some of our coaching clients, we do workshops here, we do training, we have counseling, and we're also training people in faith-based counseling to heal deeply from the root system so the fruit can change. So some of those courageous individuals decided to join us here tonight, and it's just wild to see what God is doing when people are willing and courageous to go after the dreams in their heart and the things that God put inside of you when you were born, or maybe even before you came out of the hatch. Maybe it was something he was birthing. All right, so I want to encourage you with that. Just really quick, we are going to popcorn style just go around the room, or maybe it just kind of weave, and we use a color timer here. So each one of us will have 1 minute to just say, my name is, you can use your first name, is fine. I don't know where all my numbers got. One.
They're all
Okay.
They're all number one. They're all just as important.
You're number one. Okay, so just share your name, where you're from originally. Like, my name is Layla. I'm originally from Warners, New York. What? It's near Syracuse. My first book is already written. It is called Relapse No More. It's a book about emotional sobriety and breaking self-destructive patterns. And who's the book for? All right, so I want you to be thinking about that. If you want to jot down some notes real quick, because it's going to go quick. All right, your name, where you're from, what your first book is about. Now, if you have several books inside of you that want to come out, the one that is burning the hottest, okay? The one that calls to you the most frequent. I want you to just think about, what is that book about, okay? And it's just brief. It's about me. It's about my life. It's about the journey I went on, whatever, okay? We just want to hear, what is your book going to be about? Or maybe it's your next book for some of our authors that are already published. Maybe it's your next book, okay? Or your favorite book that you wrote. Just say what it's about briefly. And then I want you to be thinking about, this question is going to be pivotal. It's a driving question for your book coming out of you and in hand, so that you can hand it to a hurting person that it can help, okay? We at the Healing Hub believe healed people heal people, mm-hmm. right? You guys have heard one form of the opposite of that, maybe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hurt people.
Hurt people,
right.
hurt people. Who's heard that before? Yeah, who's been that before? Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I've lived that before. Sorry. Then I heard something recently. What did we heard today? Somebody had another version of that. Like, blasted people blast people or something. I don't know. I forget what it was. Anyway, I want you to be thinking about one person. If you were to get your book in your hand, who would that person help?
Well, I have my glass
Okay.
because I probably am going to encourage you. I'm Roger Coons. I was born and raised in Rochester, New York, spent time in Florida and a number of times here. And I've written 2 books, one in English and one in Spanish. I've known Layla for quite a while, and I had the privilege of working with her a number of times in different venues.
Yes.
And when I talked about writing the book, she encouraged me to get started. And when I was praying about the book called God's Now Faith, I began to listen to the Lord and read Hebrews 11:1. And that says, now faith is a confidence in what we hope for and the assurance about what we do not see. Then I began to research how Jesus operated in this kind of faith. It seemed that now faith was not future or past, it's now. And that was a tipping point for me, and I went off to write the book. Tonight you'll hear from Layla how she guided me through the process of writing and publishing the book. And I will recommend and have all the time, I'll recommend Layla and Josh to come, and they can help you to publish your own book. What is really neat, having a place in this area that you could come to, and there would be people that could help you with getting the book written and published, and there's so many other facets that she helped me with, and I'm still learning. And it's interesting. There are many facets of writing a book, and auditing it, the cover art, marketing, and there's so many other things that go into writing a book. And sometimes, we just don't have the answers, and we need some help. Tonight you may hear some things that might help you. I'm still learning how to make my book better and more available to those looking for new books. And the reason I wrote the book was I remember talking to so many people before I wrote it that had problems with their marriage, problems with their children, problems with finances, problems with healing, etc. And I thought, this isn't how God really wants us to operate. He wants us to walk in faith, believing that we can have it now, not down the road. So I believe you'll hear Layla and Josh and their team can offer many things that can help you to be successful in book publishing.
Well, this might sound like a pitch because I just heard that they also do audiobooks.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just published an audiobook.
Good.
But if I knew that I had somebody close, I would have came to Josh and Layla.
Yeah, I think we don't realize until we get started on something, and then we get to the crossroad and we don't know which way to go.
Who to go to.
Or who to go
Yeah.
to.
We're going to share a little bit toward the end of our time here about some of the services that and packages we've put together for you tonight, depending on where you're at in the journey and what your interest level is. We also just want to help you move the needle at whatever stage you're at. You could hear that, right? There are so many different levels of where the book is at inside of you. But I just really want to encourage you. Thank you, Rod. Anybody here ever gone through a transformation in their life? Yeah. Right? We heard just snapshots, right? I work with people that come in and they look like they got it all together on the outside, but on the inside they're crumbling. On the inside they need a path. And it is just an honor to, specifically with women for me, to be able to share with them what I went through in my own journey. So I'm third of 9 children. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, and I was so scared when I was little because I didn't know where food was coming from. Often it was out of a dumpster just to get clothing or food just to eat because family of 11, and my parents were just in their own pain cycles themselves. But I got stuck So much so that it led me to a near fatal experience with burnout, where I got to the end and I had to really answer a tough question. Who am I without all of the other stuff? You know, it looked like I had it together. Career, it looked like I had it together. A house, a car, whatever. And then the other question was, do I want to be well? Do I want to be well? So it is a pleasure to watch people that made very tough decisions to get to the other side of the brutal, the hard, and navigate with uncertainty and navigate with pain without knowing what God might have for you. So at the Healing Hub, we're pretty shameless about just seeing God move through all of our programs, because that is part of the supernatural power that heals people. We don't, but God does the work. So it's really neat to see how you might experience maybe even a touch from heaven here tonight. I loved hearing how, in a 9-year-old's surgery, that they had an encounter with God that changed their entire life. And hopefully we get to read her book one day. Okay, right? But just all the stories, and we have people from all over the world here tonight. People have traveled and seen some things and lived some things that are still alive. It kind of makes me want to cry. It's awesome. Okay, so let me encourage you and launch you forward into not just getting your book out on paper, but having it make an impact that it needs to make, okay? I am a visionary, and I can't apologize for it, because without vision, we perish, right? Amen. And I'm a big vision person. So, okay, so the first 30 days kind of broke it out in a 30, 60, 90 kind of path. But I want you, and I'm going to kind of challenge some thinking here tonight. So one of the things that I also put in your folders is this little bubble thing. You can grab any version of it. I got the cleanest version I could get, and you can see I was not willing to pay to get those little things off of it, because it doesn't matter, all right? But the first part of this you did already. So in the center, I want you to just write the main theme of the book that you could see being written or produced. And if you've already written it and it's already published, put that one, the one that means the most to you, that you'd want to see get out further, faster, have more impact, okay? Roger, I know you have more books inside of you.
Yes.
All right, but I didn't give you a sheet, did I? Well, we're out of them, sorry. Dang. So this is called a mind map, okay? And this process can help create all the chapters of your book. Okay, so in the first 30 days, defining your core message and your audience. We literally just did that. Who's your book for, right? What's your message about, okay? Now, if you put in your main topic, on the outside, I want you to think about everything you know about that has a major concept to it. We heard the word recovery today, okay? My book is titled Relapse No More, okay? There is a recovery story woven all through it. Recovery from bad choices, food addiction, you name it. So anyway, so I want you to just start to think about what are some core supporting topics around your main one. What was a pivotal part of your journey? We're not gonna do it all here tonight, but I just wanna get the wheels turning a little bit, okay? Put some arrows. Now this one only has 4 around it, but the core can have 8 or 10. Those are the main parts of what make up your story. What was part of that journey for you? What were some core things that got you to where you are today, to the other side of the pain? Barry.
2 are research and revelation.
Research and revelation.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so keep flowing on that. And then you go out from there. What are some supporting things about revelation? What were those, what are some supporting things around that? Okay. And so this mind map is going to start to form your chapters. After you come up with the core supporting topics, you're going to go back over it and circle, not here tonight, but I'm just giving you a nudge. You're going to circle those core, and I want you to do a separate mind map for all the ones that are close to the center. Yours is really close to me, so I'm sorry.
You're good.
I speak with my hands, and I didn't put one up here. So, and each of us have a journey that looks completely different than the other person. Do you hear how many stories are in the room?
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Did any of them match up? There was a couple themes, but not one of them was the same. Not one of them. Okay? So I'm gonna get into, and I had shared this earlier, but I wanna make sure that you could start making money on your book before it's even published. This was a key, one of my mentors who is a female real estate mogul in Texas. She said, Layla, stop writing your book. Because I was like writing my book for like 10 years. And if you've ever like written your book, it's like, oh, I'm writing a book. And then I'd sit down and like pretend I was writing. And I'm like, I'm going to finish it this month. And like 3 years later, I'm still writing my book. And I had like one chapter in like this pretend like table of contents that went nowhere. Okay, so I really hope that if that's you, I'm going to help kind of move that needle a little bit. But she said, Layla, stop writing the book. And she said, start selling it. When I started selling my book and made money from people, and I had no book, that timeline started getting shorter and shorter and shorter for when my book was going to get in place.
Motivation.
Okay. What if you could get paid to write your book? What if you generated income before your book was complete? I'm going to give you a tip on how to do that later.
I kind of think there's a committee behind there called the Clubs and Torches.
Get it done.
Where's the book? I paid you. I'm thinking, oh no.
So to be clear, we self-publish, and I really encourage that modality so that you can there's no minimum book order, and you can really take home majority of the profit outside of the actual book printing and what you exchange to sell the book to different platforms.
I really encourage people to take a good look at BookSpy, BOOKS.by.
What does BookSpy do?
They guarantee that the author is keeping 100% royalties. They sell direct. They print and ship it off.
They're a printing
and everything,
house?
and it goes straight in your bank account. There's no waiting. The day that it sells, it's in your bank account. So, and then the other thing is, but the only thing you have to figure in is that there's a printing cost if it's printed.
Yeah. I can't really speak to that.
Yeah,
so I thank you for the tip, but we're not
just
really
encouraging people to
affiliated
look
with
at.
them.
Right,
But
yeah.
thank you. Yeah.
Sounds like competition.
Oh,
Yeah.
Do they
I don't know.
distribute to
Yeah.
40,000 retailers?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I haven't
but
heard what you
have you
guys
published through them before?
What's that?
Have you published through them before?
No, not
Okay.
yet. No,
So we don't,
nothing.
Yeah, I'm not going to speak to any resource
Right.
that I don't have.
She's my worst critic here.
All right. So what we're going to get back to is the 30 to 60 mark. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you some real tools to expedite getting your brain on paper so that you can monetize the book, because books last. They last and they last. Has anybody ever thrown a book in the trash? Not
Use it to
likely.
prop something up.
I mean, unless there was something, severely wrong with it. You have?
Yeah.
Well, it was my first copy of the first book
Yeah.
that I that I published.
Yeah.
And it
You were
was
like,
just it wasn't that the book was bad, it was just that the first copy,
Yeah.
sometimes there might be an issue with it.
There might
So
be.
before I,
Yeah.
got it processed and all that, I wanted to check everything there was issues, so I threw it away.
I got
But
you.
outside of that, no.
Yeah, so that was more of a draft
Yeah.
than the finished product. But books are rarely thrown out. And often when publishers give them back, or if there's a return or something, they'll actually destroy them if there is something wrong, okay? Or they'll resell or whatever. So one of the things here that we try to do is streamline the process for you so that you can do two things. One is expedite the process so you actually get your book on paper quicker than going it alone. Okay, so sometimes it's awareness often of how to get your book on paper one at a time. Okay, so there's different ways to edit, review. There's also like platforms and other coaching. Like we love to do workshops because there's something about having like-minded people that doing similar work that can actually be a support system that launch you forward. I'm going to share a little bit more about that later on. And you can begin to gather names of people that your book will help. Okay, some of them you might already know, or you might have friends of friends that could really use your book if they knew about it. A lot of the times marketing is less complicated than people think. It's just about doing some of the uncomfortable actions that will move the needle forward. Okay, making sure that people know about your book. Okay, building a waiting list. Hey, who is out there? Anybody here use social media? They're just on it, look, not even have to post regularly. Yeah, it's a good handful of us, right? Because it is such a gift that we have today to share information with people that need it. Okay, so we love to help with that. But you could even start a waiting list for people that might be interested. Maybe for you, your book could be a program for people. Each of the chapters could turn into a guided discovery for people that are going through what you already went through, okay? So you can begin to build an author platform. You can begin to pre-sell your book. I'm going to get into that. But editing and refining and formatting is, there's an art to it. And it is much better when you have somebody else besides your own brain working on the book. Okay? Anybody here like to speak? Or are you in a speaking? I know I heard a little bit, right? Yeah, I'm trying, yes, right? So we have one speaker. Anybody else? Yep, you're speaking.
Sometimes.
Yeah, you're speaking. Who else? Yeah, yeah. We got a good handful of people.
Looking forward to it, but not yet.
One of the things I want to encourage you with is one of the supplies that you're going to need to write a book is pen and paper and a computer. Okay? You're just going to need a computer. If you don't have a computer, you can get a used one. I used it's like a Chromebook or something I got for $40. It lasted me like a couple years. Okay, so you can find them, but you are going to need a computer. All right. In Microsoft Word, there is a button with a microphone on it that says dictate on it. After I thoroughly outlined my book and in mind map form and took each of the chapters and mind map each of the chapters, it generated an outline. And with that outline, I preached my book. And that is how Relapse No More was birthed. I spoke the book for 8 hours straight. I had taken probably 2 to 3 days to organize this mind map. And I spoke my book once I had an outline. And then, and only when the book was completely spoken, did any editing happen. All right, so want to encourage you with that. No editing, zero. You don't need to. Just get your book out. Just get it out on the paper, okay? So I spoke the book into a Word document. So you would need Microsoft Word, or there's lots of these really cool apps you can pay for. You can pay for dictation through Google, whatever, if you want to. But that's a free thing that's inside of Microsoft Word Dictate. Okay? So that is part of getting it ready to edit. Bring a friend. Get somebody that is willing to just read through it. I had to read through it. I did a first round of editing, and then it went to Josh. And this is before it gets ready to go to formatting. The last 90 days is the book cover, formatting, Kindle, or just ebook in general, like a PDF of your book or an EPUB. And it's so fun to launch, and having people around you that can help build awareness of your book. Or maybe it's just a legacy piece. Maybe it is just for your family. But why not generate income while you're writing? Okay, I'm going to get more into that in a little bit. So I have that for you because we also, anybody that publishes through us or with us, really with us, to do a book signing here, to bring friends and family out, to share why you wrote your book, because stories matter. Stories heal people. There is so much to your story. We primarily focus on nonfiction here, just to be clear. Josh didn't tell you, but I will tell on him that he has a fiction, sci-fi,
science fiction,
sci-fi
yes.
novel in him. And I'm like, I don't have experience. I can't help you. And he's like, you can help me. All right. So I can't weave alien zapping.
There's no aliens in it.
I don't know. I think of like Fifth Element or something. I don't have that like brain. I'm not that person. I do specialize in nonfiction, just to be clear, because I can't speak to everything. But I'm just sharing part of our experience here. And then really like launching out, and it opens doors for you to speak. My book, it just surprisingly opened doors. The credibility, people that had kind of watched me before, and then they suddenly trusted me more when my book was physically in their hand. More people, more leaders, business owners read my book, that I was floored. Here I am, I walked this wild journey of addiction and suicide and just the craziest things, to a life where I'm fully alive, that I pinch myself, and because I love my life, to just helping other people that can get their book out. Books open doors. I don't know how else to say it. It just opened doors for you. So there's a lot more I can do around that, but one of the last things you will do, and I wish somebody would have told me this, one of the last things that you will do is really come up with a title, unless it drops into you from heaven. Okay, I don't want to discount. God speaks really clearly sometimes. It's like naming your child. If you've ever been pregnant, when you just know what the child's name is, that's like a real thing. But to wait until the book is done to really know how big it's going to be, what the cover is going to be, all that stuff can wait. You can come up with a mock cover. Josh is going to talk about this.
It's important for the pre-sales.
Yeah, if you guys saw, oh my gosh, I forgot to like put it in this slide deck of my first pre-sale that I did through PayPal. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it here tonight. It was horrible. It was horrible. I did it on Canva, and it was horrible.
But people still bought it.
People still bought it.
I bought it.
$25.
Although I really wanted
$20.
to date you, so.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't get the book until after we were married.
I needed you to help me write it. That's really funny. I forgot about that.
Paid, you might have gotten it.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. And a lot of the times I see published authors that just don't charge enough for the impact that their book actually makes. So that's another thing. That your life matters, what you live through matters, and it is is worth every ounce of blood, sweat, and tears that got you to this point to even just think about writing it. And I just wholeheartedly believe that there's compensation because of what God has for you and what you went through. So I am going to invite Josh up. Josh is not only the voice and support of some of our audiobooks, which is just amazing. We have a little sound booth here, believe it or not. But he is an expert in editing. He comes from lines of editing, and our kids are like editors and have expressed it. So he's got a really great understanding of writing and how to edit well, but he is also just top notch in technology. So he runs a lot of tech here, more than I even comprehend. And so he's going to share a little bit tonight about covers.
Right, because, you know,
Can I sit there?
yes. The old saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," right? That's for the reader, because you never know what good you might find in a book, right? If you don't judge it by its cover. But the sad truth is, the reason it's a lie is because people make snap judgments all the time, no matter if they tell themselves don't judge it by its cover or not. They look at it and they can pretty much tell within 3 seconds if they want to buy the book or not, based on the cover alone. You know, or the title. The title's an important thing too, but that is also on the cover. So that's the hard truth, is that you got 3 seconds to get somebody's attention with your book, because that's how long it takes for them to decide if it's worth picking up. And it's not a decoration, it's a door. It's a door to the reader knowing that that book is for them. 4 elements that make a cover work. Emotion before information. You don't tell them what the book is about. You make them feel something before they read a single word. You have a title that creates a question where they go, maybe that's something that's for me. Leave a gap in the reader's mind that only the book can close. If they think that explains everything just by looking at the title, then you've lost them, because they need some curiosity. Contrast and clarity. If it's readable as a thumbnail on a phone screen, because nowadays we're in this world where most people are shopping on their phone, so you've got to be able to see it well, even when you're looking at it in a small thumbnail. The high contrast for the bold type, one clear focal point. Important to be able to see it in a mobile. The subtitle also can convert. So you have, you know, your main title, but then the subtitle can get them a little bit more interested as they look at it further. Because the title creates the question and the subtitle delivers the promise, which is
You might have to move so people can see
a specific, clear, and all about what's in it for them, the reader. So most people think that the cover comes last, but you know, as Layla was talking with like pre-sales, the cover is really going to be one of the first things that you do, especially if you want to do pre-sales. Share it on social media. You can also test covers. And like Layla said, her first cover wasn't the actual cover that we sold it with. We're actually going to redo it again.
Some people might have seen it on social media. I started testing.
Because honestly, we didn't nail the cover the first time around, because we didn't know what we know now. So, yeah, it doesn't have to be the actual cover that is going to be, but you can do multiple choices and see which one sells the most. Which one are people gravitating toward? You know, even just put it out on social media. Which one do you like better? Which one would you buy? Or putting ads out there is another thing too, where you do pre-sales with the book cover and you see which one is getting the most traction, which one are people clicking on and wanting to purchase. Share with your any email list or community that you have. ask them to share with one person who needs it. Like Layla was talking about, a thing called warm leads, where you kind of just reach out to your friends and family to get some momentum going with it as well. AI is a tool that has really changed the game in making the cover. You don't have to hire an illustrator now. You don't have to, play with it in Photoshop. You can speak what you want the book cover to look like, and AI will create it for you. However, you can't copyright if it's purely AI stuff. So the things that you can copyright are the promptings that you've given it, like the information that you've given it. And when you are working with AI, here's some examples of some tools, but I think these are all more advanced, like subscription-based. ChatGPT worked for me. Like, there's other ones out there. Claude is one that we like for other things, but ChatGPT for graphics, for the book covers, that one works really well, in my opinion. So that's what I've used recently. Is there something you wanted to share?
No, I was just going to ask. Good. Never mind. Sorry. Keep going.
But you got to document everything, right? Because you've got to prove that the book cover that you made wasn't just, hey, AI, make me a book cover, right? Because then that's not copyrightable at all, because AI is the brains behind it, and therefore, that cover could be used by anybody. But if you have specific details that you put into that work, then those details are what you're going to submit for copyright.
Can I ask you a question about the cover?
Yeah.
Like, what if you use your own photos for a cover?
Yes.
How do you copyright that?
Well, it's your photo. You took the photo, right? That's your work. So that's undisputable in that regard. It's like you would just document, I took this photo of, I'm the photographer, and, put it into the, however you put it in to be used as a graphic.
Like when you do the copyright, you include the covers by photo or something like that?
Well, yeah, when you submit the actual copyright to the Copyright Office, you would detail that it was your photo.
It seems to me, I'm using ChatGPT and I'm telling it what I want, and I say, give me 3 examples. I'll pick the one I like and then start working with that. And then I'm putting in the title, and sometimes it'll come up with subtitles or slogans. But my thinking is, and then you're going to put it about the book and about the author on there. And my thinking is, do you really have to copyright a cover anyway? Because it's like, you're making it already yours, by everything you put into it. Is somebody really going to want to, they can take like the picture of it.
Right. That's the thing.
They can take
the design of it, and
so
right.
What?
But still, the title is your original work,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
right? All the words inside are your original work. Although when you go through publishing, often it will ask, is there any AI generated content in this?
Sure.
And you put up there too, it costs like $35 to $45 to copyright it. It's very marginal. I don't know if you can see it. It's like low down. Yeah, it's like 30, it's under $50 to copyright it. So the rights are yours. So, if somebody else were to take it and to do something with it, to copyright it so it's yours. And go ahead.
So here's some general bullet points on things that make a good cover. The emotion first cover image, a title that creates a question, contrast and thumbnail clarity, subtitle that converts, cover ready before the book is done. That's part of the pre-sailing and testing of which cover is the most popular with your audience. And there's AI generated and human directed, because the human direction is the most important part to make it yours.
I have one more thing before you go to the next slide.
Yeah.
So another resource to just kind of clarify with utilizing AI for ideas is there's a website. Anybody ever hear of Vistaprint?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do business cards and they do banners, right? So under Vistaprint is a site called 99 Designs. I'd like you to write that down, 99 Designs. And for a marginal fee, I think it's somewhere between $300 and $500, they are actual graphic designers that you can take your AI image to, and they will fine tune it. They'll work with you. You'll get up to like 30 different real designs, and then you can test them, like Josh was talking about, against the market. This is something I wish I had known before I, produced my first book. But 99 Designs, it's a well-trusted organization that can help take what your concept is and what you can use to pre-order to become your final cover. Okay.
Right on.
Let's build it.
Yeah, let's build it. I'm going to give you an example of one recently that I did for Bruce.
It might be a nice tie-in for Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce can come up next and talk to you about his book. But Bruce had actually published this already in 1990. And this was the original cover that he had a illustrator
Should I grab the first one?
make.
Yes.
Let me go grab the first, the real one. Sorry, you can see it a little bit better.
So, we're wanting to get from here to second edition with updated and more realism. So this is the prompt that I gave ChatGPT. The more details that you can give it, the better the result is going to be. I said, please make this image sharper. Give me a few options. I want to see more realistic version of the helicopter, same model and year, plus provide a more realistic view of the area from Vietnam, the time range, 1961 and 1975. Enhance the text, replace it with a crisper version, similar font that would show up well over the background of multiple options. Want to feel like I'm there in the sky over the Vietnam battlefield in this year. And the format got to be compatible for the 6x9 book to be published.
Okay, so we're working to reproduce this and produce a second edition with Bruce. And so this is where we started. And that
So we got
it doesn't even show very well.
we got a few options, and then I went over it with Bruce too, and it's like, no, that's actually not the same model helicopter, right? That he was flying. So with the help of Bruce and some back and forth with ChatGPT, and I pulled another image of the actual model helicopter. I fed it that image because just like with a human, a picture tells 1,000 words. So if you can get an example of what good is and feed that into AI, then it knows what you want and it'll reproduce it. So I got the actual model helicopter, and then told it was second edition, all the things that we wanted. Bruce gave some really good bullet points on what he wanted to see in it too, and gave me his actual tail number. So this is Bruce's actual tail number for his helicopter.
Yeah.
And that's the final product.
I was amazed that you could do that.
Yeah, I mean, AI is changing the game, and I didn't have to spend a lot of time on it. I just had to give it specifics on what I wanted, and then it did it.
We're excited to see, because there's people that have been, waiting for this to come out because the original publisher went out of business for the first time that Bruce published it, if I remember correctly. Yeah, they're out of business, and we couldn't find the manuscript, so we're reproducing it alongside Bruce to make it to reproduce what's here and even add some enhancements to it so that other veterans can get a hold of his story and what he went through. It's just a wild journey. And so if you want to say anything, Bruce, we love to.
Well, I just worked up a little bit of information here, knowing that I might speak tonight. Has anybody here ever worked for the federal government? Okay. I'll
Few
get into
people.
that a little bit later, but one of the reasons I wrote the book was for my family. And just to give an example, there was one Marine that I served with as an enlisted Marine. I went through infantry training with him. We went to flight school together. We had the same room in the aircraft carrier for 6 months down in the Caribbean. And every squadron that I ever went to, he was already there. So we shared experiences all through our career for almost 2.5 years. He never survived in Vietnam. And it was really hard for me to deal with that, and I know it was for others, because he was the kind of guy that everybody really liked. And just to give you one more example, I could give you dozens of these, but the last flight, I flew in flight school before I got my wings. I flew with 3 other Marines from Florida to Texas and back. And we incorporated a lot of different syllabus flights into that one long flight back and forth. The other 3 Marines that were with me never survived Vietnam. So typically we lost 20 to 25% of the pilots in every squadron. So I knew there was going to be a lot of pain that people had to deal with at home. And when I started the book, I really wrote it for my family, because somebody would ask me a question, I'd answer the question. Somebody else would ask me a question, I'd answer that question, and it was like jigsaw puzzle pieces all over the table, but it didn't come together. So I wrote the book to make the whole picture solid for everyone.
Can I add something, because I'm reading the book?
Yeah.
That he also wrote it because he was sending those letters to his wife.
Right. She saved every letter I wrote to her.
Oh.
I think it was 7 years after I left Vietnam. A Navy admiral wrote to me, said he lost a nephew in Vietnam, and asked me if I recovered that body. Well, I went back to all my wife's letters. I had them in chronological order, and when I wrote it all down, she saw it. She said, "There's a story there." So that's how the book got started.
That's neat.
I will tell you this. It was a real catharsis for me, as well as a lot of other people. When I saw that first book on the dining room table, it was just, you wouldn't believe the relief that I felt, knowing that all that baggage that I was carrying all those years was gone. Things that I had not spoken of in 20 years were in that book. And it was finally gone out of my system. And I could not even talk about Vietnam until I finished that book. That's why I could only answer little questions instead of the whole story. How did it affect me when I got out of the service? For the first 7 years, I was going to college full-time. I was working full-time to support the family, and I had odd jobs all over the place. When I wrote the book, I decided that it was time to make a change. I was stuck in a grade 9 position in the government for, I don't know, maybe 13 years. I wrote the book, and within 4 years, I was in DC as a grade 14. And it's all because I wasn't carrying that burden on my shoulders anymore. So that's what the book did for me. And I just want to say that the reason I asked if there were any federal employees here, former federal employees, if you go from one federal job to another, you have to fill out a long list of KSAs, knowledge, skills, and abilities. You don't get promoted from one position to another without almost having to hire somebody to help them define what your knowledge, skills, and abilities are. And I'm here to tell you today that these people have KSAs.
Oh, thanks,
I
Bruce.
have been working with them for 32 days. And in those 32 days, we didn't get just the cover done. We've got 8 chapters done.
Yeah.
They've done in 32 days what took me 4 years to do when I self-published the book. So stick with these people.
Thank you, Bruce.
Can I see something? The last time I heard him at the
Authors meet.
American Legion, and he was telling about people that just came from way other far parts of the states and stuff coming to talk to him about people he knew about and stuff. And it was shocking. He was just, I'm going, whoa, this is deep, really deep stuff. And anyway.
It's an honor working with you, Bruce.
I'd
Really,
like to
truly.
share one other thing that's
Sure.
got nothing to do with my book.
Okay.
But it's got to do a little bit about what happens when you're flying and what you just said about workshops. When you're flying, the first thing you learn is from books. Everything is from books. It's called ground school. You go through ground school and you figure, finally they're gonna let me fly. And eventually you know the aircraft well enough that they actually let you solo. And once you get a lot of hours in the aircraft, and I flew 5 different models of aircraft, you get so you know it pretty well. And then they give you a student.
Ooh.
And you think that you've known a lot about the aircraft. Students ask you questions that you never thought of. That's why you like workshops. Because
good point.
you had the book learning behind you, and then you had the experience of publishing and printing, and now people ask you questions that you aren't familiar with, and you find them the answers.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes, sir.
I think it's great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Question, were you able to enhance his picture in the book?
Oh,
I'm still working on that.
Not the
Yeah.
cover, his picture, that he has a picture of what he.
Yes,
We
that's going to
actually-
be one of the final touches
yeah,
when
we
after
are
we get all the
collecting
text.
images and digitizing
And the audio
them.
book.
Can you hold that picture up for just a second?
The picture that
It's in the very back of the book.
in the very back. Oh, yes,
Yeah, it's in the last.
yes. It's a good looking picture of you, Bruce.
A lot of people ask me the question when they see that, how long ago was that?
Yeah, who's that guy? Looks just like him.
That was 50 pounds ago.
50 pounds ago. Can you see it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I like the one that you gave me though of too, where you have the scarf on. Yeah.
We had a bunch of images that
The
we're
leather helmet.
including in the next one. Yeah.
Cool.
We're gonna add. Yeah, we're gonna add new
That's why it includes
content
digital
that's never
companion
was never in the
content
first
and
one.
rare
Yeah.
author interviews, which is going to be pretty
I gotta
awesome.
add that as a veteran, what he said, I'm also a veteran, what he said is so true. In basic training, like the first week, what you learn is always in a book.
Yep.
Anything and everything before you go out and train.
Yep. My life is catapulted because of books.
Instead of in the military, Dan.
All right, I'm gonna keep us moving here. All right, I got a bonus for you, and if you guys are good to go for about maybe 10 more minutes, 10, 15 minutes, we're all right. Did you want to share something else?
No.
No, okay. It is just wild, and even when we produced yours, had I thought about it, we might have done your cover a little different.
Yep.
We went as simple as it gets with God's Now Faith because it's the guts. But anyway, we're all constantly learning. All right, so I'm going to just say, how about you just take one and pass it, okay? So as promised, I really want to help you, and this is literally a play-by-play of creating through PayPal is simple form. You guys got some good ideas so far?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, right? We got some ideas. Okay. All you need is an image, and you don't have to have that image copyrighted to have a pre-sale. Okay. You don't have to have it. All you have to do is have a way to receive payment. Okay. PayPal is really easy because it will actually, you can upload an image. All right, so I have literally mapped it out for you from start to finish. So you have to log into PayPal, you have to have a PayPal account. You go to pay and
How
get
do you
paid.
get a PayPal account?
So PayPal, you can go online and go to paypal.com.
Yeah, and then you can create an account there.
Yep, and you can choose business or personal. Okay, so you can do it as a person. You don't have to have an EIN or an LLC or anything like that. You can just do it as yourself. Okay. The best part about it is, so we are let's just say June, July, August. I wrote and published in some freakish amount of time. It was like 30 days, I believe, start to finish.
Although it was
like
your
2 weeks.
Yeah, I did.
it was your life that you lived though that
Yeah.
ended up on the paper, right?
Right, but I had to seriously commit to it, and at that point, I don't know, it was a few $100s worth of pre-sale orders. Had I known what I know now, it would have been thousands of dollars. Okay, and so I really just want to encourage you with the simplicity of it. So you go to PayPal. It even says on here, Ivy, go to PayPal.com, sign in or sign up for free. Okay, so I have soup to nuts here. PayPal.com. Login is up at the top right, or choose a free one. Go to Pay and Get Paid. Select a Buy Now to create a button. Here is where I put my little secret sauce in here, okay? Name your book. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Josh gave you a lot of tips on how to name your book. Have a dance with AI for a few minutes. I believe Claude is the better one to tell more about yourself and to come up with a book title. That's another workshop.
Spell that. Claude, like the name.
CLAUDE. CLAUDE.
Is Claude a subscription based?
It's similar to chat in that,
There's a
you can do a
free
subscription,
version.
or if you use a below the limit, you can do it for free.
Yep. We both have $20 a month Claude accounts. It's like having a virtual assistant, and it's like having somebody that
What
can.
assistant?
Yeah. I have a whole nother
If you do reach
workshop
your
on that.
max after 5 hours from when you started, it'll reset,
And then you just go back to ChatGPT.
Yeah, you can go
Cheat
bounce
on
between
Claude
the
for a
two,
little
you
bit
know,
and
yeah.
then just go back. All right, so you're gonna put a book title in there. Y'all know what your book is about, right? We know what your book is about. And put on there pre-sale, okay? We're being transparent about it. They're not produced yet. When somebody asks me, when's your book gonna be done? I'm like, I'm not sure, but it's in process. Or if you wanna get really bold, you give them a date, okay? By the end of this year, the book will ship.
If you work
$27.
well under pressure.
Well, I didn't. I was writing my book for like 10 years, but I was living the book, okay? $27 could include shipping, all right? A shipping hack for you, if you've ever shipped a book, if you go to the US Postal Service and tell them it is media shipping, it will dramatically cut the cost of your shipping. It's media because it's a book, okay?
Actually, I found it cost more. I got it for less by not telling. And I've shipped the books all over the place.
So in my experience this year, it's $3.99 when you say media. If you don't, it's about $7.99.
Yeah, I
So-
got it for $3.
Okay.
Well, that was one book,
And your book is
that big.
very, light and
Very
weight.
short.
Even
Right.
if it's published?
Well, his book, you can see it on the way out.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so I think maybe because of the weight of his book, the physical weight.
But
Yeah.
who was your publisher?
He self-published.
Through us, yeah.
So what if I publish on Amazon, I could still do this?
I don't know. I've not used Amazon. We use a different printing house so that it goes
It
up
does
to
show
40.
up on Amazon, but it also shows up in Walmart and Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, we go
all
out
the
to
major
40,000
retailers.
retailers.
Roger is an international
Yeah, my first
Author.
book sold in Germany.
Yep. So
The nice thing though too about if you go through us is that it can be printed on demand and shipped for you. So the only reason you'd have to deal with shipping yourself is if you bought a bunch yourself and shipped them out for yourself,
And-
right? Which I would suggest the ones that you buy for yourself that you sell at events, in person where you can just hand the person the book. That's the most profit. And then when, they're shipping out, just let them get it from their preferred retailer.
So my book, a good handful of you have seen it. It's not terribly big. It's probably like less than half the size of Bruce's. It sells for $25 plus tax every time, unless it's at events and we just, don't charge tax, and the state gets theirs eventually. But here at $27, your life matters, okay? And so I selected the price of $27 for you, for people in mind that are in this room, to include the shipping, and to make it's around $3 to $4 cost for my book. So if you figure your book, if you did this, say you make about $20 on every book. I want you to do some math real quick. And if you sold 5 books, 5, pre-sold 5 books times $20 is how much?
100.
100 bucks, okay? What about 7? What about 10? Just to people that you know you and love you and support what you've been through. 10 books. You could pre-sale. You could literally have this done in the next 48 hours by coming up with a cover and say, hey, I'm working on this. Do you want to be one of the first to get my book? It'll move your fanny forward, pardon my French, but it will really push you forward to say, I got to get this book done. And you'll start to see what kind of interest. Hey, do you know anybody that wants to read a story about? Boom. Would you be willing to share this with 2 or 3 of your friends that this book could help? So next, you're going to copy your link payment. It's going to generate it, and it's going to help you have a shareable link. Again, Josh hit this. This is for books that you are going to pay cost, and it'll be all profit.
You're the distributor in this scenario.
You'll have to gather.
That's why you
and
would ship them.
PayPal is a trusted source that lots of people already have PayPal accounts. You're going to create this link that will gather their shipping information and how to contact them when your book hits the streets, okay? And then you share and just start collecting. You literally are gonna start collecting income, okay? I give you the $20 number because the 7 or whatever, but you will get the full $27 in your account as you start sharing it, okay? What if it was, I'm trying to think of another number. What if you sold 20, right?
$200.
$400, right? Plus. I don't know. Who's the math whiz?
Oh,
What's 27
20
times?
times 20.
20.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know. My mather's not mathing right
Yeah,
now.
you're
Okay.
right, 400.
I promise you, I want to help you generate income because it will motivate you to complete the book, okay? And you don't have to make promises you can't keep. I want to be really transparent about that. Your integrity matters. Our integrity matters. And if you don't want to adopt the process, I mean, we love to help people through the process. I'm going to get into a couple things here. Options that you can have if you would like to partner with us, if you would like us to work with you to produce your book. We would be happy to help you.
If you sell 500 books, that's 10 grand.
Okay. So I had done a study on my book if I sold 500. And if you look in your phone at how many contacts you have, I have about 2,300 contacts.
Wow.
Okay? All right. I don't know.
Wow.
Some of them I don't know.
You may
why
be
I have that
surprised how many you have. You guys
might
probably
be
have at least
surprised at how many
500.
people that you know that are people that know people, okay? And I did the math for mine. If I sold 500, it would be $8,500 profit. That's after we pay for the cost of the book, okay? So I want to encourage you with some real data, some real numbers to make this doable for you, okay? All right. So you guys have a copy of this. It is yours. You're welcome to share it, tell people about it. I hope you make money literally this weekend by doing it. And I have a few more things to cover, and then I'm going to close.
So I have a question for Josh. So if I have my little stick of my audiobook, and I want you to sell it for me. Do you have a QR code?
We can create QR codes. We can, upload it to Amazon or to Audible, iTunes.
Audible.
Those are the higher ticket ones that most people are going to.
We'll talk.
Okay.
As far as like profit margins, maybe people can keep in mind that an ebook or there's no cost to print the book and there's no cost to ship the book. So ebooks are a big profit margin, but here's something to think about that maybe a lot of people haven't thought about in the room is that you can translate your book into other languages.
We're actually going to talk about that. Roger is our chief example because we did at least one language so far, well, 2 languages so far. The way that we do it, just so you guys know, process-wise, thanks for bringing that up, is we do print first, then Kindle. Okay, print first, because people want to read books, right? What a testimony. Print first, then Kindle, then audiobook. Okay, and it's up to you if you want hardcover, softcover. A lot of us started with softcover. I personally don't love to read hardcover books, but depending on your book and how girthy it becomes and the type of experience you want your reader to have, I've worked with people to do workbooks that, they wanted a spiral for whatever reason. I mean, there's just different types of books that you're going to have, right? If you're doing a devotional, I have somebody doing a devotional right now. It's gonna be a different type of production that you might want your reader to have an experience. Okay, so we do print first, then Kindle, the way that we format, and then audiobook to follow that. Okay, so one of the things I had this image was going around because we had just the pleasure of working with Roger, where he allowed us to kind of birth this process and this program. He was kind of our, I don't want to say guinea pig. I knew what I knew, but I knew that I first assigned him a mind map and I didn't know if he was going to take me up on it or not. And then we just met weekly. So we have a weekly standing meeting until we could really produce the book. Okay, so you can talk with Roger, you can talk with Bruce, they're in the room of people that are actively working with us. Then he came back and had a huge Latina population say, we need this book in Spanish. Would you get it translated? So we began the translation process, but then we were like, we need a native Spanish-speaking person to edit this book, not just the internet. Okay, so we got a native Spanish-speaking person that loved Roger, that then did the edits for us. Then we had to edit them, then make sure it was all formatted correctly, and then produce it so that it could be sent around the world to faith-based communities that speak Spanish.
And one of the interesting things was that when it's translated, it translated some things wrong.
It did.
And that's where somebody who reads Spanish helped.
Yeah.
She just said to me, "We have to do this," and I said, "Well, we can do that."
Well, now you have another person that speaks Spanish.
Yeah. Some other things that are kind of great about working with some, not just going it alone. I mean, Josh and I really, I did webinars and I got coaches and I had to go through this lengthy, costly process to streamline this for people. And it surprises me that not many other people are doing a 90-day program. I did mine in 30, but I don't want to stress people out. I'm a type A go-getter. But I just want to zip through this really quick and then I'll open up for questions, all right? So really, it was just awesome taking Roger's book and out of his brain and on paper. He had a lot of stuff he had to do on his own. And then, just asking questions. But really, you get clarity. You get to skip the years of confusion. You get accountability, which is really important to just have deadlines set in place of, I need this by this time. And you have somebody that is in it with you. When we agreed to republish Bruce's book, we didn't know how much we were going to need that accountability. Thankfully, he's sharp, he is responsive, because we had a lot of questions. We want to make sure it's done properly and accurately, because we didn't live through what he lived through, but we want to make sure that his baby comes out properly, especially because Josh is voicing the book, okay? So that accountability is really moves the needle forward. You will, if you take me up on the pre-sales this weekend, you will have accountability to the people that want what is inside of you, all right? You'll avoid costly mistakes, time, energy, and money, and you're really gonna become more confident. I just love just even the confidence in Roger. Like, you waited quite some time to publish your first, which is really your second book, or your third, or whatever. He's got other books he's working on. But once he has the process, he can do it for book after book after book. That's one thing I love about what we do here. Once you do it once, you can apply it to book after book after book. Not that I don't want to help you again, but I want to help you once so that you have the process and you can do it over and over and over.
Teach the man a fish principle.
Yeah.
I think beyond that, though, there are new things that are happening that you may know that we do not know.
Correct.
And I think being connected is the real key.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a good point. We do a lot of research. So one of the people that wrote my bio is like a New York Times bestselling author, like several times over. We love connecting with other authors, and we do a lot of research on what like the world is offering in self-publishing alone. It is just crazy. It's anywhere from like 80,000 to 30,000, 10,000 just to, self-publish. Anyway, I'm gonna share with you 3 packages that we put together for you. Some people don't have time to write. Some people are just really going to not have the time to write. And so we put together a ghostwriting package for you. So if you're somebody that has an amazing story and you just don't have the time to write, but you could talk us through parts of your story, and we can guide you through some questions to actually do the work for you. I'm going to start with that and kind of go from there. So most people never write their book because nobody shows them the step-by-step path from the idea to published. They feel misunderstood. I hear about this a lot. People that paid big-time publishers huge amounts of money, or only got paid once on the book, and that's it. And so the publisher is making money over and over and over on their brainchild. They feel misunderstood because publishers don't let them tell their whole story their way. They say, you can't use that, you can't say it like that, you can't, all right? They think they need it all figured out first, waiting for the right time that never comes, okay? That was me for a long time. I literally wrote my book for like 10 years until I didn't, until I figured this process out and try to do it for others. And then mental blocks and limiting beliefs. Fear, doubt, and worry are some of the top things that will rob you of your dreams. If you've been here long enough, you've heard me say it in a lot of coaching. But the mental blocks, there are mental blocks that are invisible barriers that will keep you stuck forever if we let them. And then they've been burned by expensive programs, things that don't work. They say one price and don't even produce what they say they're going to do. They overpromise and underdeliver. Okay, so we have a small team here. It's Josh and I primarily, and we have other people that help with execution. But I do mindset and completion, so I walk you through every mental block, the limiting self-beliefs, things that will really try to like rob you of getting your book done. I went from jumping in dumpsters as a child to rewriting people's destiny of healing, so I know what it takes to turn pain into purpose. And I won't let you quit until your book is done, okay? Josh is the editor and audiobook architect, so he takes your raw and real powerful words and shapes them into professional, polished books that the world can hold, hear, and be healed by. Okay, so his expertise covers all formats, the print, the ebooks, the audiobooks, and ensures that your story reaches people wherever they're at. So we have 3 different price points. The purpose in print, this is a do-it-yourself, self-paced on school where you'll have weekly video lessons, homework assignments on your schedule at your pace, okay? We have the called author, and this is the done with you. This is gonna be a group live coaching with Josh and I. We're only accepting 7 people into this first cohort, starting on June 1st. So we're gonna have personalized roadmaps for your book where you're at, because it's gotta be particular to you, because everybody's different. And you're gonna have your book in hand in 90 days. So by the end of the summer. And then the anointed author. This is a done for you premium offer where we write it for you. We have weekly Zoom interviews. It's a fully ghostwrited service, 90 to 100 days, because we're doing all the work for you, and we only have 3 spots available for the anointed author program. So let me get into this. So the anointed author, this is everything that you'll get for the anointed author. So you're going to get a private VIP kickoff. We're going to map your entire book before we begin, just to make sure that we're on track. You're going to have weekly 1-hour interviews. We're going to extract the story right out of you. You're going to have either Josh or I are going to write your entire book for you. You're going to have a white glove concierge service. So this means like a dedicated person that's going to be on your book. So you're going to have a point person that you'll work with to get your book done. It'll go through professional editing. You'll have print, ebook, and distribution to 40,000 retailers. We're going to do the 99 designs for you in this offer, and we're also going to launch your book. So we're going to have a strategy to launch your book for you. We'll have a book signing event. Audiobook will be voiced by you once it's past the 90 days. So we have to have the book in hand before we do audiobook. I think it's common sense, but I just have to say that because I don't want to promise an audiobook in 90 days, because we're not. But the print and ebook will be ready. ISBN and printer setup, and you'll have access to the school community, which is a digital program of how we're going to take you through things if you want the process over and over again. And we'll set up your Amazon author page and pre-sale links. Okay, so this all together is
You gotta cut off.
I can't see it. Okay, I don't know. It's around, maybe I have it. Oh, it's a $93,997 value with all of the things that we are doing for you. So if that's you and you just don't have the time, but you do have, you do want to invest in it, we've knocked that down to $14,500. So that is 3 spots we only have available. We're doing that between 90 and 100 days to completion. And again, it will be self-published so that the royalties go to you once it is launched. Okay, so that is our anointed author. This is the called author. Okay, this is everything that you're going to get. This is kind of our middle line that we are doing for a group. And so you are going to start with an interview. So we get to hear your heart privately for the book that we're going to help you produce. And then we're going to do your 90-day publishing roadmap that is going to expedite that for you. So you know exactly what's going to be expected of you so that you can expedite it if you want. Truthfully, you heard my story. I did it within 30 days, starting with the mind map. We're going to have weekly live group coaching sessions here. If you can't make them, we are going to be recording them. So they're going to be twice a week here, where you have live support of people that are actually writing books alongside you. Okay, how to make money before, during, and after. We're going to really get in there and make sure. I put this $8,500 number because I know I can do it, because I did it with mine. If you sold 500, you're going to make back $8,500. If you just sell 500, I assure you, you have 500 contacts. If you have 500 followers or friends on Facebook, you have more contacts and more reach than you probably realize. We're going to make sure you own and set up your ISBN and all the metadata that goes with that, and set up your print account for you. Print, ebook, audio, all 3 formats. We're going to set you up for distribution to 40,000 retailers worldwide. We're going to do your cover design test and buddy system accountability. So you're going to be paired up with somebody inside of the group so you can have somebody that you connect with. We've seen just supernatural things when people have somebody that they can talk to ongoing. So you're going to have weekly check-ins with us, but you're also going to have somebody that you can talk to that's also doing the same process with you in the group. We're going to do your Skyrocket Success Launch Kit signing. We're going to have a team that's going to help boost your book when it is published. All right. So also for a bonus that I wanted to include is the path to ensure a TEDx talk. So if you've ever wanted to do a TEDx talk and you know your story could change lives, I have a foolproof bonus that I want to include on there of the path to a TEDx stage. Has anybody ever seen a TED talk? Yeah, they're influential, they're powerful, and I would love to throw that in as a bonus for anybody that wants to get in on this with an author photo shoot. That is going to be not as cool as Bruce's picture in there, but we'll do our best to include that. Just readers love to see you for whatever reason. Not everybody wants to be on the cover or the back of their book, but people connect. They connect by looking in the eyes of people, right? You know, and your Amazon author page. So this package is around $82,000 worth of value that you will get in your 90-day process. And we have cut that down to $7,000. So if you want to do that paid in full, otherwise we created a payment plan for you where your deposit is, I forget where that is. It's on a couple slides from now, but this starts on June 1st. So we do have to know by May 29th. If this is something that you are interested in and you want to get in on this cohort, it's just a small group. We're only accepting 7 people in on this to be part of this group where you can work alongside people and ensure that you have a book in your hand by, I think it's September 1st, June, July, August, right, June?
Yes.
July, August. Yeah, by September 1st, I want to say, yeah, by Labor Day. All right, so you will have a book out and we will make sure that you start generating income. Like I said, I literally could show you how to make $8,500 on first before it's even published. And I'd love to help you do that. I just want to be clear about that, to make back your investment and then some in our group coaching style. So we have 7 spots available. We're starting on June 1st, it's a Monday, and May 29th is the day that we need deposits in by, okay? And the last package we put together is called Purpose and Print. So Purpose and Print is a 90-day video roadmap, step by step, where we're gonna take you through what we talked about, but they're going to be video lessons. So you're going to get a weekly video lesson in school, SKOOL. If you've never used it before, you'll need a free account with that, school SKOOL. And that's where your weekly video lessons are going to be. You're going to have PDF homework assignments in there. We're going to help you with your mind map to really laser focus on that. We're going to help you through your phases of editing. You'll have to grab your own editors unless you want to do, like Josh said, a la carte, where we help you with your later stage editing just to make sure you get fresh eyes on it. We're going to help you with your cover designs. They're 27 times more profitable for those who do a cover design test, okay? Just, you know, the real math behind it. If you test the cover, it's 27 times more profitable. We're going to help you with launch tips, a launch crew access, pre-sale links, weekly audio encouragement, and Google Doc resources, and you really will have full ownership. And once you have it, you get to own that training. So this is around $6,000.97, you know, as we kind of added up all of these things together. The bonus is you get the school community. This is the people that are doing the same journey at the same time you are. And you're going to get speaking events and book signing training, how to close those book signing deals with local places or even national if you want, and how to navigate speaking events around your book. Okay, so Purpose in Print, your investment is it's a total value of a little over $6,000. Today it's $797 if you want to pay in full, or we have $297 down and then 2 payments after that of $350. So if you're interested in Purpose and Print, that is our video training through school. So you'll get 1 training with homework per week that you'll have to complete before the next week. Okay, and that's going to be starting also June 1st. So I will just take you through with Purpose in Print. We're giving you a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. If you complete the first 30 days of lessons, if you're not making real measurable progress towards your book, we'll refund your investment, no hassle, no questions. After 30 days, as long as you're doing all of the lessons and you're not really moving the needle. The called author. If you're attending every session, you complete your homework and you commit to 30 minutes to 4 hours per week to get your work done. This is the group we're doing together. If you don't have your physical book in your hand in 90 days, I will personally work with you at no additional cost until you have it. Okay? I mean, I take it really serious. We really believe in how this works. But if you're not done and you don't have a physical book in your hand by, what I say, September 1st, I will personally work with you until it's done and ensure it's less than 90 days after that. And then really just personal service guarantee. It's not a course you buy and forget. Like, we show up for you every single week. We put a lot of effort into this. Our reputation is on the line as much as yours if we don't succeed unless you do. So I just want to know that we take your stories seriously. So these are your options just at a glance. We would love to connect with you if you want to set up a time to talk. We have a really easy booking link on healinghubsc.com. So you can have a private one-to-one with Josh and I, or 2-to-1 or 2-to-2 if you want to bring a spouse or a friend with you, to talk about which option might be the best for you. If nothing else, please share this with other people. Please share your experience. Please send people here if you know people that really need help publishing. These are your options. So Purpose in Print is $797 for the whole course. It's a 90-day course that you will start on June 1st inside of the school community. And you'll have weekly assignments, videos you have to watch, and homework. And then the called author is where you have a group, where you get the support, where you get the path. And we start with a personalized meeting. So we make sure that we understand where you're at in the process so that those 90 days or quicker, you have a book in hand. Okay, and then really if you don't have the time, but you have the heart and it's in you and you're willing to let us interview you for a few times over, we have a path specifically for you if you would like us to write your book for you. Okay, so any questions for me before we close?
I have a question.
Yeah.
I know a Vietnam veteran who was POW for 38 days.
Wow.
And a lot of people are asking him to write a book. But he doesn't feel comfortable doing that. Where would the ghostwriter fit in these 3 categories?
So he would be here.
Okay.
Yep. So we would meet with him.
Yeah.
The initial investment for that is $1,500 to hold a spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love, to sit with him. Even if he just wants to come in and talk and see if it's a good fit. Yep. Where we would interview him, we'd record our interviews, and we're going to create a book from that.
Okay.
Yep.
Thanks.
Yep. Good question. Any other questions? Comments? Feedback? You guys got some homework?
Yeah.
All right. You got some ideas?
Yeah.
All right. So see Josh or I. You can also ask Bruce or Roger whatever questions you want to. I'm going to just pray us out. Is that all right?
Yes.
If you agree with it, you can say amen afterward. If not, that's okay too. But God, we just thank you for being here with us. I thank you for all the stories that have burned bright inside of us for a long time that need to be written. And Father, I ask you for peace. I ask you for confirmation, if, who, what, where, when, why. And Lord, that there would be a real peace over each one tonight. I pray for encouragement, pray for a fresh wind of hope over each person here, that they would be blessed just because of the time that they showed up to be here tonight. In your name we pray, amen.